There are weird records in this game, from a stupid world record like the quickest time to upload a level, to genuinely impressive ones that require a huge amount of skill. Still, in this game, there are records that literally are unbeatable, no chance of ever being beaten by anyone. It took days of research to find these hidden records with an almost 0% chance of ever being beaten, but I found them. Enjoy watching some of the craziest stuff you've ever heard about. Before I start talking about these records though, let me show you what I mean with this topic. Smithy, for example, is currently the #1 player on the Geometry Dash leaderboards, with 6,000 plus demon difficulty levels being completed, the hardest difficulty there is. He has beaten almost all demons in the game. However, if from this point on forward no demons were to be uploaded, 0% of players could surpass his demon count. This is because a small percentage of Smithy's demon count are weekly demons, which are demons that you can only beat in the span of 1 week. After that, they are gone forever, and Smithy beat almost all of these weekly demons. So, if no demon levels were to be uploaded anymore, almost nobody could surpass this guy even if they tried. This though is a pretty boring fact. So let's travel to the depths of Geometry Dash with information almost nobody has ever seen before. Jazer is a player known for his levels. He uploaded quite a few of them and most of them are really good. Something he's less known for is for setting an unknown world record on accident. The most disliked post in GD with 147,000 dislikes on it. This record could be dethroned however, so let's actually start talking about records that won't ever be broken. If a level is rated, it means this level is in the top percentage of the best levels in the entire game. There exist quite a few rated levels, but in order for a level to actually get rated, people sometimes need to wait for months, which often is the case. On one occasion though, this was the complete opposite. Instead of needing to wait for a huge amount of time to get their level rated, Viprin only needed to wait 3 seconds for this to happen. It happened so quickly that the game didn't even assign a difficulty to the level, which normally happens really quickly once it's been played a few times. The chance that this time of 3 seconds will be broken is extremely tiny, if not impossible. There are countless people who love Geometry Dash, but out of all these Geometry Dash lovers, one person stands on top of the crowd. Milpan, with an insane playtime of 64,000 hours, almost 7.5 years of actual playtime. Still, this isn't even the crazy part. I asked Milpan what his longest session of him playing Geometry Dash non-stop was, and this was his answer. While this was a rough estimate, I don't see this getting topped by anyone. Another certain player didn't play for 3 weeks in a row, just 30 hours, but he did something a lot more interesting in this time period. UltraCow HD played a single attempt on every single demon difficulty level in the game, which took him 30 hours to do, in which he played more than 6,000 levels. Nobody is ever gotten close to playing so many levels in just 30 hours, and while being possible to beat, I doubt anyone is even willing to attempt it. Still, 30 hours and 3 weeks of playtime is child's play in comparison with our following entry, which is probably the weirdest thing I've ever seen in this game. Milpan is one of the most famous Geometry Dash content creators, and has hundreds of successful GD videos. We aren't going to talk about him however, rather about a very obsessed fan of his. This YouTube channel called Milpan's Fan has uploaded 5 videos about Milpan, which is not that weird, actually pretty wholesome. When it starts to get a little odd however, is when you check out a hidden link leading to one of his live streams. It reveals a now deleted stream called Milpan 24/7 and it holds the world record for the longest Geometry Dash stream ever done. It is 1,563 hours long, or 65 days, with the content just being Milpan and his icon spinning around and around. I bet this won't ever be beaten. But let's move on from these long times to something even more weird. Like most of you know, this is just one game. There aren't any minigames, just levels to play or make. But that actually is where you and I are wrong, since when you open the game you can not only click on this giant play button, but you can also click icons on the home screen. Hitting these doesn't do anything special, you can only get a couple of achievements from it after killing a few of them, 200 to be exact. After getting this achievement, there is no reason to continue hitting them. This still didn't stop User Technical from clicking 3 million of them. I talked to him about this and he said he killed icons more often than he actually played the actual game. It just is a habit he formed, basically being as normal for him as it is for people to eat or drink. While this is pretty much unbeatable since nobody is that crazy, The following one is even more unlikely to be beaten. I just did a singular jump, which took around half a second to do, not too bad. This is me performing a trick where I get around 1000 jumps per second, which is a lot faster than just jumping normally. This trick was also used by Raiden, who holds the world record for the most jumps in the entire game. And before I say how much jumps he has achieved, a top Geometry Dash player has around 30 million jumps in total. Raiden, however, has 1.57 billion of them. This took him 2 months of constant grinding, and this certainly won't ever be beaten. Let's chill with these big numbers for a bit and move to something a bit more simple for a while. Like I said before, rated levels are some of the best levels in the game and often have great gameplay in them. Still, there is a small possibility that in one of these rated levels, a secret way exists where you are able to skip a large portion of the level. This also led to the rise of world's longest dash orb in a rated level. In the level Artificial Love by Archery, you can hold this dash orb for exactly 48 seconds before needing to release to not die. It has since been patched. The second main level is Back on Track. It is the second easiest level from the main levels you can play and has been played by millions of players. It is so easy in fact that some players decided to buff it to become extremely difficult instead. Nav was one of them. And he took it a step further than everyone else, by making it the hardest remake of Back on Track ever made. He put the entire level after VSC, which is infamous for being one of the hardest levels to ever be beaten, and after a couple days he beat it. This probably won't ever be dethroned as the hardest verified remake of Back on Track. The final section of this world record video will be, in my opinion, the most interesting. An average Geometry Dash player like me has spent around 100,000 attempts on different levels in the game. Most of the time around 10 to 100 per level, and if it's a really hard one, maybe 1000. And like most players I've talked about in this video, there are always a few really dedicated ones. While you're watching this video, a player named Joey is trying to beat a level named Favorite Results. This is a level with a 1 in 30 million chance of being completed, and he has been trying to complete it for more than 4 months straight. The total attempt count he spent on it is 6.7 million, destroying the previous highest attempt count, which is a bit more than a million, achieved by a human. This is where our final entry starts, which blew me away. While Joey had 6.7 million attempts on the level Favorite Results, Geometry Nacho got 13 billion attempts, 2000 times as much as Joey. But how? Well, these attempts were not actually achieved by a human, but by a bot. This bot was made so it attempted the level 240,000 times per second, leading to this ginormous attempt count that is never ever going to be beaten whatsoever. Well, that was the entire video. I hope you enjoyed and subscribe if you like Obama.
Goodbye.